Success isn't a product of luck. It's not something reserved for the chosen few. It's a result of consistent effort, intentional action, and most importantly, habits. The small decisions you make every day shape your direction and determine your outcome. While talent and opportunity can open doors, it's your habits that decide whether or not you walk through them. Every successful individual, regardless of background or starting point, has developed a set of habits that elevate their mindset, sharpen their discipline, and push them closer to their goals. The truth is, your future is hidden in your daily routine. It's not what you do once in a while that changes your life, it's what you do consistently. Habits are the invisible architecture of success. They either move you forward or hold you back. When you begin to develop the right habits, you align your actions with your vision. You stop wasting time on distractions and start investing energy into growth. You create momentum that carries you through the hard days, but not all habits are equal. There are certain key behaviors and mindsets that are common across every high achiever, from athletes and entrepreneurs to creatives and leaders. These habits don't guarantee success, but they attract it. They create the mindset, work ethic, and discipline necessary to rise above average. If you want to reach your full potential, it's time to stop relying on motivation and start building the foundation that success stands on. This guide breaks down some of the most powerful success, attracting habits, and explores how to develop each one, step by step. You don't need to change everything at once. Just start with one, commit to it, and allow it to transform how you think and live. Success isn't an accident, it's a habit. 1. Consistency. Consistency is the foundation of all success. It doesn't matter how talented you are, how great your ideas might be, or how big your dreams are. If you're not consistent, none of it matters. The people who rise to the top in any field are rarely the most naturally gifted. More often, they are the ones who show up day in and day out, doing the small things that others overlook or abandon too soon. They understand that greatness isn't built in a burst of motivation. It's built in the quiet, repetitive, often unglamorous work that's done over time. What separates the winners from the rest isn't one big action or breakthrough moment. It's thousands of small, repeated choices. Getting up early even when it's hard, studying when others are partying, practicing your craft even when no one's watching. These things might not feel powerful in the moment, but compounded over weeks, months, and years, they lead to mastery and success. Consistency turns average into excellent. Too often, people start strong but burn out quickly. They get excited about a goal and work on it for a few days or weeks, but then life gets busy or motivation fades and they stop. The truth is, motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. You can't depend on it. What you can depend on is a commitment to show up no matter what. That's where discipline and consistency come in. You don't wait to feel inspired. You make showing up part of who you are. It becomes a habit, a non-negotiable. Successful people understand the compound effect, the idea that small actions done consistently create big results over time. If you read 10 pages a day, you'll have read over 12 books in a year. If you improve your skill just 1% each day, in 100 days, you're twice as good. These small gains may seem insignificant in the short term, but they're massive in the long term. And the only way to tap into this power is through consistency. Consistency also builds trust, both with others and with yourself. When you consistently do what you say you're going to do, people learn they can count on you. More importantly, you learn you can count on yourself. That builds self-confidence, which is a critical ingredient in success. Every time you show up when it's hard, you prove to yourself that you are someone who follows through. That mindset shifts your identity, and your identity shapes your future. The key to staying consistent is to simplify. Don't try to do too much too fast. Start with something small and manageable, then build on it. Create routines that support your goals. Remove distractions and triggers that pull you off course. Track your progress and celebrate the small wins. It's not about perfection, it's about persistence. Miss a day, get back on track the next day. What matters is that you keep going. 2. self-disciplined self. Discipline is the ability to control your emotions, behaviors, and impulses in the service of long-term goals. It's doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. While motivation can spark action, self-discipline is what sustains progress when that initial excitement wears off. It is the inner strength that allows you to keep pushing when everything in you wants to quit, when distractions are loud, and when comfort is calling your name. Successful people rely on discipline far more than they rely on feelings. They understand that their emotions can't always be trusted, especially in high pressure or uncomfortable situations. When it's time to wake up early, exercise, study, or make a tough decision, the disciplined person doesn't wait until it feels right. They act according to their commitment, not their mood. That simple shift from being feeling-driven to being purpose-driven creates unstoppable momentum. Discipline is a form of self-respect. When you honor your commitments to yourself, you reinforce the belief that your goals are worth fighting for. You train your mind and body to follow your will instead of temporary cravings. Every time you say no to a distraction, you're saying yes to your future. Every time you choose the harder right over the easier wrong, you are building mental toughness. This toughness becomes a competitive advantage in every area of life. One of the most common reasons people fail to achieve their goals is because they allow temporary desires to overpower permanent dreams. The desire to sleep in wins over the desire to train. The craving for junk food wins over the commitment to health. The urge to scroll wins over the goal of building a business. But people with discipline don't let the moment make the decision. They let the mission make the decision. That ability to delay gratification is what allows them to rise above average and reach excellence. Self-discipline also brings freedom. While that may seem like a contradiction, it's the truth. Discipline doesn't restrict your life. It builds the structure that gives you control. The more disciplined you are with your time, your energy, and your habits, the more room you create for growth, creativity, and achievement. People who lack discipline are slaves to impulses, distractions, and excuses. People with discipline are in control of their path. To develop self-discipline, start by defining your non-negotiables, things you must do daily no matter how you feel. These could be things like waking up at a certain time, exercising, journaling, or spending a focused hour on a project. Then, train yourself to follow through. Remove temptations from your environment. Use tools like time blocking, accountability, and habit tracking, and most importantly, accept that it will be uncomfortable at times. That discomfort is not a sign to stop. It's a signal that growth is happening. Discipline isn't something you're born with, it's a skill you build. Each small decision to stay committed sharpens that skill. It strengthens your character and sets you apart in a world where most people are driven by convenience. 3. Goal setting. Successful people don't stumble into achievement by accident. They set goals, clear, specific, and actionable goals, and then they work with intention to make those goals a reality. Goal setting is more than just writing down dreams. It's the process of creating a roadmap for your future, breaking down a vision into actionable steps, and focusing your energy in a purposeful direction. Without goals, effort is scattered. With them, effort is concentrated and powerful. A goal gives you a target to aim at. It brings structure to your ambition and creates clarity in the midst of chaos. When you have a well-defined goal, your daily choices gain meaning. Instead of drifting through the day reacting to whatever comes your way, you act with purpose. You start asking better questions. Will this move me closer to my goal? And those questions lead to better decisions. That's how progress happens, step by step, choice by choice. But not all goals are created equal. Vague goals like "I want to be rich" or "I want to be better" don't lead to results because they lack focus and structure. Effective goals follow the SMART method: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. For example, instead of saying, I want to get fit. A smart goal would be, I will work out for 30 minutes, 5 days a week, for the next 3 months. This type of clarity eliminates confusion and helps track progress. Once a goal is defined, successful people break it down into smaller milestones. A big goal can feel overwhelming, but when it's divided into bite-sized actions, it becomes manageable. Daily and weekly targets provide direction and allow for momentum to build. Momentum fuels motivation. Each small win builds confidence and moves you closer to the ultimate outcome. Goal setting also provides accountability. When you write your goals down and review them consistently, you create a personal standard. You hold yourself to it. Many successful individuals keep their goals visible on vision boards, whiteboards, or journals, so they're reminded every day of what they're chasing. This visual reinforcement strengthens focus and keeps the vision alive, even during setbacks. Another key to effective goal setting is flexibility. While the goal itself should be firm, the path to get there may need adjustment. Life throws unexpected challenges, and rigidity can lead to frustration. Successful people review their goals regularly, measure progress, and pivot strategies when necessary. Reflection is part of the process. They ask themselves, what's working? What needs to change? How can I improve? This habit of evaluating and adjusting prevents stagnation and increases their chances of reaching the finish line. Setting goals also brings a sense of purpose and motivation. It creates internal drive. You start to live with intention rather than default. Every time you set and achieve a goal, you build trust in yourself. That self-trust becomes the foundation for even bigger goals. Goal setting becomes a lifestyle, not a one-time exercise. It's how ordinary people do extraordinary things, not by luck, but by design. 4. Continuous learning. One of the most consistent habits among high achievers is their commitment to continuous learning. They understand that knowledge is power, and more importantly, that learning never truly ends. In a world that's constantly changing, staying still is the same as falling behind. Successful people don't see education as something that ends with school. They see it as a lifelong process, a daily investment in personal growth and professional excellence. Continuous learning isn't just about reading books or taking formal courses. It's a mindset. It's the belief that you can always improve, always discover something new, always sharpen your skills. This mindset keeps your ego in check. It reminds you that no matter how much you know, there's always more to learn, and that humility is what fuels real progress. People who embrace learning are naturally curious. They ask questions. They observe the world. They're open to feedback, criticism, and new perspectives. They look for lessons in every experience, whether it's a success, a failure, or something in between. Instead of fearing what they don't know, they lean into it. They seek out challenges and unfamiliar situations because they know that growth lives on the other side of discomfort. Technology has made learning more accessible than ever before. With a smartphone and an internet connection, you can access thousands of books, podcasts, tutorials, and online courses. You can learn from top leaders, experts, and innovators without leaving your home. The excuse of not having access or opportunity no longer holds up. The only real obstacle now is discipline. The discipline to carve out time daily to absorb, reflect, and apply new knowledge. Reading is one of the most powerful learning habits. Successful people are voracious readers. They read to expand their thinking, to understand different viewpoints, to discover new strategies, and to fuel creativity. Whether it's biographies, business books, science, psychology, or self-development, they feed their minds with substance that challenges and strengthens their thinking. Another critical piece of continuous learning is application. Learning without action is wasted potential. The most successful learners don't just consume information, they apply it. They take what they learn and test it in real life. They experiment, adjust, and refine. Experience becomes their greatest teacher because it reinforces lessons through practice. This hands-on learning builds real skills and real confidence. Learning also happens through mentors, coaches, and peers. Being around people who are more knowledgeable or more experienced can elevate your thinking and help you avoid unnecessary mistakes. Instead of letting pride get in the way, successful people ask questions, seek guidance, and absorb wisdom from others. They know that learning from someone else's journey can save years of trial and error on their own. Continuous learning keeps your mind sharp and your spirit engaged. It opens new doors, unlocks new ideas, and fuels ambition. In every industry and every area of life, those who commit to growth rise while others remain stuck. The moment you stop learning is the moment you stop evolving. 5. Positive environment. Your environment shapes your mindset, your behavior, and ultimately, your results. It's one of the most underrated forces in personal success. Successful people understand this and are intentional about the people, places, and influences they allow around them. They know that greatness doesn't thrive in chaos, toxicity, or negativity. It grows in spaces where encouragement, ambition, and focus are the norm. A positive environment isn't just a luxury, it's a necessity for anyone who wants to reach their highest potential. One of the most powerful aspects of your environment is the people you spend time with. Jim Rohn once said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." That quote is repeated often because it's true. The attitudes, habits, and energy of those around you rub off on you whether you realize it or not. If your circle is full of negativity, laziness, gossip, and small thinking, you will begin to adopt those traits. But if your circle is filled with people who are goal-oriented, disciplined, and positive, they will challenge you to rise. Successful individuals are deliberate about curating their relationships. They invest in friendships that uplift and inspire. They seek mentors who can guide and stretch them. They spend time with people who talk about ideas, solutions, and growth, not people who constantly complain or stay stuck in the past. This doesn't mean cutting everyone off, but it does mean setting boundaries and choosing wisely where your time and energy go. Your environment should reflect your ambition, not your fears. A positive environment also includes the physical space around you. Clutter, noise, and disorder can create mental fog and stress. Organized, clean, and purpose-driven spaces promote clarity, creativity, and productivity. Whether it's your desk, your bedroom, or your digital workspace, the condition of your surroundings affects your focus. Successful people often simplify and optimize their spaces so they can think clearly and act decisively. In addition to people and space, a positive environment includes what you consume daily. The music you listen to, the shows you watch, the books you read, the accounts you follow on social media. All of these inputs influence your subconscious mind. High achievers are mindful of their mental diet. They feed their minds with content that uplifts, educates, and aligns with their goals. They avoid negativity, drama, and distractions that drain their mental energy or distract them from their purpose. Energy is contagious. When you're around people and environments that radiate positivity, you naturally feel more confident, hopeful, and driven. Challenges still come, but a positive environment gives you the mental resilience to face them with strength. It reinforces your belief in what's possible. It reminds you that you're not alone in your pursuit of excellence. Creating a positive environment is a habit. It requires regular evaluation and intentional decisions. Who you let into your space matters. What you allow in your mind matters. What you tolerate around you becomes what you accept within you. Protecting your environment is a form of self-respect, and it's one of the strongest success habits you can build. 6. Self-discipline. Self-discipline is one of the most powerful habits that separates those who achieve great things from those who don't. It's the practice of controlling your impulses, emotions, and behaviors to stay focused on your long-term goals, regardless of the challenges or temptations that might arise in the moment. Without self-discipline, success becomes elusive. In fact, it's the very foundation of success. Talent, opportunity, and luck all play a role, but without the ability to stay committed to a goal, none of those things will carry you to your destination. Self-discipline is about taking control of your actions instead of letting your actions control you. It means choosing the hard right over the easy wrong, even when no one is watching. It's easy to give in to short-term pleasures, sleeping in, binge, watching TV, indulging in unhealthy food, or scrolling aimlessly through social media. But people with self-discipline recognize that these are fleeting rewards that won't bring long-term happiness or success. They understand that the real rewards come from staying focused on their goals and pushing through the discomfort. It's easy to stay motivated when things are going well, but self-discipline is what helps you stay on track during tough times. When you're tired, stressed, or facing setbacks, it's discipline that keeps you showing up and doing the work. It's the ability to keep going even when you don't feel like it. This is what sets the high achievers apart. They don't rely on motivation alone, they rely on the habit of self-discipline. It's what allows them to push through resistance and continue making progress, even when external circumstances aren't favorable. A key part of developing self-discipline is creating habits that support your goals. A goal without a system is just a dream. If you want to get fit, for example, you must create a system for exercising regularly, eating healthy, and prioritizing rest. You must decide that your health is non-negotiable. If you want to build a business, you must establish a routine for working on your business every day, even if it's just a small step. It's about consistency and doing the work even when it doesn't feel exciting. Over time, these habits form the foundation of success. One of the most effective ways to develop self-discipline is by removing distractions and temptations from your environment. Self-discipline becomes easier when you make it difficult to indulge in bad habits. If you're trying to eat healthier, don't keep junk food in the house. If you want to be more productive, turn off notifications and set aside dedicated blocks of time to work without interruption. The environment you create for yourself has a direct impact on your ability to stay disciplined. The more you can eliminate distractions, the easier it will be to focus on your goals. Self-discipline also requires self-awareness. You need to know your weaknesses and triggers so you can manage them effectively. Recognize when you're tempted to procrastinate, get distracted, or give in to unhealthy impulses. Once you're aware of your patterns, you can put strategies in place to overcome them. For example, if you struggle with procrastination, break your tasks into smaller, more manageable steps and set deadlines for each one. If you have trouble staying focused, try using techniques like the Pomodoro method or time blocking to improve your concentration. Ultimately, self-discipline is about mastering yourself. It's about doing the things you need to do, even when it's hard, and staying committed to your long-term vision. The more you practice self-discipline, the stronger your willpower becomes, and the easier it is to stay on track. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. By developing self-discipline, you build the foundation for lasting success and personal fulfillment.